So today, talking more about the importance of structure in business and providing structure to your own intuition. Yesterday, I talked about how I know a lot of people who are making career transitions, who are starting their own businesses, and I myself am still kind of, in that stage of early on, starting a business, and I understand there can be a lot of anxiety around, is this going to work? What do I do first? Blah, 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 blah. And oftentimes I find for myself, and I think others do too, that you have so many ideas in your head of things that you want to do, that you want to get out there, that sometimes they just get stuck up there and you're just stewing, all these great ideas, but they're not coming out. And so it's to us to create the time and space to put those down on paper, to get them out of the head and, let them start to flow. So this, whether this be, just ideas you have of like to-do lists. Here are the things that I need to do that are the immediate things. I need to form my LLC. I need to talk to the accountant. I need to talk to my lawyer. I need to provide these forms to my client. I need this certification. I need blah, 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 blah. It can be those sorts of things that kind of are going on in your mind, but you've never really just made a list. And now once you know that that list is there, you can let those things come out and, every time one pops into your mind, you can just add it to the list. And I find that that's really helpful in taking the anxiety level down a bit. And it's also really helpful, right, in actually actioning a lot of these things and taking those steps, those baby steps, next step, next step, next step, that get you closer to establishing the business, starting your own company, doing those sorts of things. Um, Same thing goes for, business plan and stuff. Maybe you're kind of wrapping up your current job and you're about to start out on your own. Um, and you have a really good idea. This is something you've thought about a lot. This is something you've been tuning into. You know it's true, and you have a really good idea of what you're going to be doing and such. But there's nothing concrete right now. It's to you to start making things concrete. It's to you to start building new structures. We oftentimes don't realize it, but our jobs are enormous structures, just like education is an enormous structure. And we don't think about it as such because we'll just go to work every single day and we rely upon that. And we know between these hours on these days, we're at work, and that provides this amount of money, and that provides, as a result, we are able to do these things. That's a structure. And if we choose to let that structure fall, it has to be replaced with other structures so that we can make rent, so that we know where we're living, so that, we are defined as, whatever it is we're doing in our new profession, so that we can meet our own basic needs, we can provide our structure so that we can live our truth, so that we are following our intuition and creating what we saw in the vision. But without those structures, that isn't going to happen. It isn't magically going to happen that, oh, I saw in a vision that I'm this, and so I quit my job doing this because it wasn't that. It's like, well, okay. But, you need to do those concrete things. You need to take the action, much like we were talking about last week. You need to take the action and follow the true next steps to get to the vision. And that's what's providing the structure. We talked about creating structural tension because the current reality is not the same as the vision. You're building structure. So it can be, a lot of times I'll just say to friends, say to myself, say to clients, okay, you're at this stage and you got a lot of thoughts and feelings happening, a lot of anxieties, a lot of excitement about what's happening. Write it all down. Start taking little steps every single day towards what you're building. That's providing you with a structure to get where you're going. And oftentimes, the more you start writing, the more that flows out, and the one action you take leads to the next action, to the next action, to the next action. Put it to yourself that I'm taking action every single day towards what I'm working towards. So, it sounds like common sense, and in a lot of ways it is, but I think it's worth spending the time talking about it as a reminder, because it's amazing how even you can consider yourself a really organized, structured person, but once you lose some of the structures in your life that maybe you took for granted previously, like your last job or your current job that you're thinking of leaving, once those go away, there's a huge vacuum, and that vacuum has to be filled. And it's to you now, which is a job that perhaps you hadn't had previously, to create new structure in your life. And that's critical to turning your intuition into your vision, into your end result. So leave it there for today. Thanks so much. Have a good one.